The candlelight flickered against the old stone walls of the cathedral's hidden chamber. The shadows stretched long and dark like ghosts of the past. And then a single sentence shattered Clint Eastwood's world. "You were never meant to leave, Eastwood, and now the son you never knew is coming to kill you." Clint's weathered hands clenched into fists. He had spent his life protecting the British crown, serving in the most secretive faction of the Royal Guard, a unit so hidden even the king himself was unaware of their existence. They were the silent protectors, the ghosts in the palace halls, the ones who did what had to be done in the name of duty. But 20 years ago, he had walked away. He had buried his past, choosing a life of quiet solitude in the Scottish Highlands. Until tonight. The messenger, an old comrade, now frail and broken, had delivered the news before collapsing at Clint's feet. "They trained him in the same darkness we fought against. He believes you're the last threat to their cause." A slow exhale, a storm brewing inside. His son, raised by the very enemies Clint had spent a lifetime destroying? It wasn't just a mission anymore. It was personal. Clint stepped into London's fog-laced streets, his coat billowing like a cape of a forgotten legend. He needed answers, fast. His first stop, the Royal Archives, a place he once swore to protect with his life. He bypassed the usual guards with a single cold stare, his reputation still whispering through the halls. Inside, buried beneath years of classified reports, he found it. Project Blackthorn. His breath hitched. This was no ordinary assassination plot. It was a purge. The same organization Clint dismantled years ago, the Order of the Blackthorn, had rebuilt itself from the ashes. And they wanted revenge, not just against him, but against the entire Royal Guard. The first name on the target list? Clint Eastwood. The city skyline stretched behind him as he waited on a rooftop. His instincts screamed that he was being watched. And then he heard it, a whisper of movement, the faint sound of a blade slicing through air. He turned just in time. The assassin struck with surgical precision, a blade inches from Clint's throat. But Eastwood wasn't an easy target. With a sharp pivot he countered, locking arms with his attacker. And then, in the moonlight, he saw the young man's face. His own eyes stared back at him, a moment of hesitation, a heartbeat filled with unspoken truth. "I don't want to kill you," Clint said, voice steady. "You don't know the real story." "You're a liar," the assassin hissed, shoving Clint back. "You abandoned us. You left my mother to die." His mother. A name surfaced in Clint's mind, a woman from his past, one he had tried to forget. The pieces clicked. The Blackthorn had raised his son on lies, shaping him into a weapon aimed at the very man who should have protected him. Clint sighed, lowering his hands. "You've been told a story, but let me show you the truth." He took the young man back to the archives, back to the files that had been buried. Together they unearthed the past. His son read in silence how the Blackthorn had betrayed his mother, used her as bait to lure Clint into a final battle. How Clint had fought to save her, but in the chaos, she was lost. How he had searched for years, only to be told she was gone. "They used you," Clint whispered, "just like they used her." The young man's grip on the knife trembled. The foundation of his entire life cracked beneath his feet. He had spent years training to kill the wrong enemy. A tear slipped down his cheek. "What do I do now?" Clint placed a firm hand on his shoulder. "You make a choice. Do you keep living their lie, or do you fight for the truth?" The sun rose over London as they stood on the palace grounds. The war wasn't over, but a new battle had begun. Side by side, father and son turned toward the coming storm, because sometimes the greatest battles aren't fought with bullets or blades. They're fought with the courage to change.